Hello all, welcome to today's class. So in today's class, we'll be focusing on the design of compression members as columns. So this is the last part which is related to column design. So in the last two classes, we have talked about how to analyze a compression member which is given as a column section, and we have also seen how to design a section. Now in today's class, we'll be talking about how to design a column section as a built-up section. Okay, so we are going to talk about this one, which is the built-up section. This is the last part of this column section design. So here, before we talk about this problem, let's understand what is a built-up section. So you have a regular I section. Okay, you have an I section. Suppose, say for example, you have this, say for example, consider it as ISMB 300, right? So you have this standard I section which is given, but what you find was you found that this member, okay, you found that this member is not having enough amount of length, okay, is not having enough amount of length L, or it cannot bear enough amount of load, that is P. Okay, so you have a section and you found that, or you observed that it is not having the sufficient length, and it is also not able to carry sufficient amount of load. Then at that time, what you're going to do is you're going to add some additional members onto the same section. Remember, you're going to add some additional members onto the same section. So those additional members can be plates. Most of the times, the additional members which you can use are plates, which are called as ISF, that is Indian Standard Flats, which are called plates. So what do you mean by built up section? So if you have just the I section, okay, if you have just the I section, it is called as a rolled section or rolled steel section or member, anything it is, right? Just the I section. If you have a combination of two or more different sections, remember, if you have a combination of two or more different members, then those are called as a built up sections. If you have a combination of two or more sections, then those are called as a built up section. Now, what is the function of built up section? It can accommodate length, right? Suppose, say for example, you need 5 meters of length or 5 meters of height, but you found that you have the I section only up to 3 meters or 4 meters. So you are going to add some extra plates on the top and the bottom, right, in order to compensate the 5 meters length of the section, right? So you found that this member is having only 3 meters. So the remaining 5 meters can be accommodated by using this plates. So it is just an example. So, and the built-up sections can also take sufficient amount of load. So built-up section can be defined as any section which is used as a combination of two or more different sections. So greater than or equals to 2. When you use any sections with more greater than or equals to 2 sections, such kind of section is called as a built-up section or a built-up member. Now here you have a combination of I section, and you also have a combination of flat sections, that is Indian standard flats, and hence you are going to call it as a built-up sections. So built-up sections can be used to make the member sufficient of height or length, and it can also be used to make that or to resist enough amount of load. So this is the simple concept behind the built-up section. Now we'll see one problem which is based on this concept, that is on built-up section concept. So here let's look at this problem. So the condition is design of compression member as column. Okay, so particularly we are going to talk about the built-up sections. So here we are going to solve for analysis type of problem. Remember, this is not a design type of problems. We can only analyze these kind of problems. So you can make the subpart as analysis type. analysis type. Okay, anyways, so here you can see the question. So determine the load carrying capacity of a compound column. So compound column or built up column, they both are same. The other name of compound column is built up column. Built up. Compound column is also called as built up, right? So compound column of ISMB 400 at the rate 61.6 kilograms per meter with one cover plate of 300 by 20 mm on each flange. Okay, you're going to use an ISMB 400 section with one cover plate of 300 by 20 mm on each flange. That means you're going to use two cover plates, one cover plate on the top flange and one cover plate at the bottom flange. And you are also given with the length along with the end conditions. So this is the data that is specified. Same as we talked in the analysis type of problem. The same data will be given here also. Okay, they have given the section and a length and along with end conditions. Right. This is also what we have seen in the first model problem, that is in analysis types of problem. Anyways, so we'll carry out with this problem. So here, what you're going to find out, you're going to find out the load carrying capacity. So what is load carrying capacity? Solution. Let's check down what is load carrying capacity. Load carrying capacity is nothing but PD, which is AE into FCD. This is what we have to find ultimately, right? Load carrying capacity, that is PD. Anyways, the load carrying capacity consists of another formula, which is the load carrying capacity. The load. So PD is actually not the load carrying capacity. It is the design compressive force or design compressive load, whereas load carrying capacity, or it is also called as safe load, okay, or safe load, it can be calculated as PD by 1.5. Okay, so you know factored load equals to, that is PU, ultimate load equals to 1.5 into working load. Okay, but what you need is safe load, or the load carrying capacity equals to factored load by 1.5. So from this formula, we have derived this one. Anyways, so we are going to find out the load carrying capacity of the member. So let's arrive at this solution. So before starting this problem, let's draw the simple diagram. So you are having a column section, which is of in the shape of an I. Okay, that is what they have specified. So ISMB represents it's an I section, right? ISMB. When you see B at the end, it's a beam. So that means for ISMB, it's an I section. Technically, it's an I section. So you have an I section. Along with the I section, you also have one cover plate of 300 by 20 mm. Right? You have one cover plate of 300 by 20 mm on each flange. So you have the top flange, this is this one, and on the bottom flange as well. Right? And the middle portion is called as web. So this is top flange and this is bottom flange. Anyways, you must have an idea about all these parameters. Right? Now you have to design this section. Instead, what you're going to do is you have to find out what is the load carrying capacity of a section which consists of ISMB 400, which is provided with cover plates of 300 mm length and 20 mm width. So both on top as well as at the bottom. Okay, so let's check down how to solve this problem. So here, as I was telling, we are going to find out the design compressive load, that is PD value. So before writing that, let's just write the given data. So given, so what is the given data? It is ISMB 400 at the rate 61.6 kilogram per meter. Okay, this is one thing. The second thing is cover plate dimensions. Right, you are also given with cover plate dimensions, that is 300 by 20 mm, and you are also given with the length of the column, that is length equals to 5 meters, and you are also given with the end conditions of the column. Okay. Anyways, the end condition is one end of the column is fixed and other end is pinned. Let that will take care in the next part. So first, just let's write the sectional properties of ISMB 400. So the sectional properties of ISMB 400 at the rate 61.6 kilogram per meter are. So let's write the sectional properties. The first one is area, which is 7846 mm square, and the next one is height, which is 400 mm. All these values you are obtaining from the steel tables book, so you have to refer steel tables book in order to find out all the sectional properties. And the next one is thickness of the flange, which is 16 mm, and the thickness of the web, which is 8.9 mm. Okay, let's keep these values aside for time being. So now, what is the first thing? We have to find out the values of KL, right? In order to find out the value of FCD, you need to find out the value of lambda, right? Lambda equals to KL by R. So here you need to find out the value of K, right? Remember, I hope you remember this thing. So here you are going to find out the value of K. So let's solve for this one. So how will you find out the value of K? You know, you have to use the code book, right? You have to use the code book. That is, you need to open page number 45. So let's quickly check down. Remember here, the end condition is given as one end of column is fixed and the other is pinned. So let's look for this condition. So quickly, let's open the code book. So this is table 11, where you can see the effective length condition. So what is the condition that is given? One end is fixed and the other end is pinned. Pinned is also nothing but hinged. Pinned or hinged, they both are same. See here, the first one is one end is fixed, other end is free. Here the second one is one end is hinged and the second one is a roller. Here both ends are hinged, and the next one is one end is fixed and the other end is roller. And the next one is one end is fixed, the other end is hinged. Now for our condition also, in our problem, they have said one end of column is fixed, which is this one, and the other end is pinned. Pinned is also called as hinged. Therefore, what is the effective length value? It is 0.8 L. So therefore, the value of K is 0.8. So from this, you got to know the value of K. So let's substitute here and find out what is the value of KL. So therefore, KL equals to, or you can write the table 11. So from table 11 of IS 800 2007, okay, from table 11 of IS 800 2007, K equals to 0.8. So therefore, KL equals to 0.8 times of L. What is L? It is 5 meters. So I'm converting into mm. So it will be 4000 mm. So this is the KL value, which is the effective length. Now here, in order to find out, that is ultimately we are finding out lambda value, that is KL by R. So we are where we are going to aim up with AE into FCD. We know AE value, which is this one, 7846 mm square, right? This one. Now we need to find out FCD. So in order to find out FCD, you need KL by R. Now we also know this one, which is KL value. Now here R. So here comes the challenging part in this question. What is R? Usually in the previous problems, we have taken R values. Suppose in this example, that is in the design problem, what we have taken, we have got two values of R, that is RZZ, this is this one, and RYY. This is for what? This is just for the I section, right? We have selected one section, that is ISSB 350. For this section, we have got two R values, and the minimum R value we have taken, right, along the buckling axis. We found out the buckling class, and then based on the buckling class, we found out the buckling along minor axis, and then we have taken the R minimum value. But here you cannot directly take the minimum of RZZ and RYY, right? So R value is not equals to RZZ or RYY, which is the minimum of these two. So it is not this one. So this process cannot be followed in the built up sections, because here this process, that is R equals to minimum of RZZ and RYY. Okay, R equals to minimum of RZZ and RYY is taken only for a single section. Okay, it is applicable only for the single section. That is, it can be an I section, or it can be an angular section, it can be a square section, it can be a circular section, anything, or a channel section, it can be anything. But this process of selection of RZZ and RYY is not applicable for built up sections, because built up section is a combination of two or more sections. So suppose, say for example, you might can say that, sir, we can take the value of RZZ and RYY for only ISMB 400. Then that means you are designing only the I section, not the plates, right? So whatever the section you are designing, it must carry a load of certain amount of load, right? That load we have to find out. Anyways, so here for built up sections, don't consider this case, that is R value, as least of RZZ and RYY. This is specifically applicable for single sections. Our case is for the built up sections. Remember, so for built up sections, we have a different process of finding R minimum value, right? So R minimum equals to, how will you find? It is actually the ratio of under root I by A. It is actually the ratio of under root I by A, where I is the moment of inertia, okay, and A is the total area. Remember, I is the moment of inertia and A is the total area. Now what is here I? So here I, that is moment of inertia. Moment of inertia of what? It's a built up section. Remember, moment of inertia of built up section. So here also you can write down, it's under root of I of built up section. You can, for understanding purpose, I'm just writing BS. BS represents built up section divided by area of built up section, right? We don't know the moment of inertia of built up section. We know the moment of inertia of just I section that can be obtained from the steel tables book, right? How will you understand the built up section in moment of inertia? It is actually the summation of, okay, it is actually the summation of moment of inertia of ISMB section, okay, moment of inertia of ISMB section, because this is the section which is given in the question, that is ISMB 400, right, plus moment of inertia of plates. We also have plates, right? The two plates, one on top and one on bottom. Now here, the moment of inertia, I'll just write down here, or you can make a note here itself. You have for moment of inertia of ISMB 400, you have two values. One is IZZ, right? You have two values of moment of inertia. One is for IZZ and the other is for IYY. So these two values you can get it from the steel tables book. So let's look at the steel tables book and find out what is the moment of inertia of ISMB 400. So if you refer steel tables book, the moment of inertia of ISMB 400 along ZZ axis is 20458.4, which is in centimeter power 4. So in order to convert that, I'm making it into 10 power 4 mm power 4. Okay, so please refer steel tables book. You will find these values. So along YY axis is 622.1, which will be in centimeter per 4. So I'm converting into mm per 4. Now you have two values of moment of inertia, right? You have 20458.4 along ZZ axis and you have 622.1 along YY axis. Now, which one you have to take for this value, right? You cannot consider both the values. So which one you're going to take? What you're going to take is adopt the least moment of inertia, right? Adopt the least moment of inertia. Adopt least of IZZ and IYY as moment of inertia of ISMB 400. So therefore, moment of inertia of ISMB 400 equals to, I said, the least of IZZ and IYY. So if you compare IZZ and IYY, obviously IYY is the least value. So the least will be IYY, which the value is 622.1 into 10 power 4 mm power 4. So that's how you can find out the first factor, which is moment of inertia of ISMB 400. Now we need to find out the moment of inertia of plates, right? Moment of inertia of plates. So how to find out the moment of inertia of plates? So suppose, say for example, if you consider this as a plate section, okay, you have the ZZ axis, which is also called as XX axis, and you have YY axis. Okay, so ZZ you can also call it as XX axis. They both are same. Don't confuse between these two. They both represent the same. XX or ZZ, they both are same. Now, if you go back to the concepts of strength of materials, of moment of inertia along XX axis will be BD cube by 12, and the moment of inertia along YY axis will be dB cube by 12. Now, which one you have to consider? Is it along XX axis or YY axis? So for I section, we have taken the moment of inertia as for YY axis. So here also for plates, you have to take the moment of inertia of YY axis only. So if it is XX axis or ZZ axis, then you have to consider the ZZ axis also. Okay, so remember, whatever the moment of inertia you have considered for the I section, the same moment of inertia axis has to be considered for the plate sections. Since we have considered IYY for the I section, we are also considering IYY for the plates section. So therefore, IYY, okay, IYY of plates equals to, we know the formula, which is dB cube divided by 12. What is D? It is the depth. So what is the dimension of the plate? 300 is the width and 20 mm is the depth. So let's write these values here. B equals to 300 mm and D equals to 20 mm. Okay, the formula is D, that is 20, into B cube, which is 300 cube, upon 12. So if you solve for this one, you will get the IYY of plates. But here you have to remember one thing, which is how many plates we are using. We are using two plates, one plate on the top and the second plate at the bottom. So you have to multiply this value with 2. Remember, 2 is for, we are using two plates. So therefore, the IYY value of two plates will be 96.22 into 10 power 6 mm power 4. So this is the moment of inertia of plates. Now you have now you have IYY of ISMB 400. You also have I of plates. Okay, so that's how you can consider the value of I of built-up section. Therefore, value of I for built-up section equals to, what is the formula? Moment of inertia of ISMB 400. What is the moment of inertia of ISMB 400? It is 622.1 into 10 power 4 plus moment of inertia of plates. Let's write that also. So moment of inertia of plates is 96.22 into 10 power 6. Okay, so this is the moment of inertia of built up section. Let's keep this value as it is. Okay. Now, what we are going to look for here is we also have to find out the moment of area of the section, because R equals to root I by A. Okay. So let's find out the area. Area of built up section equals to same here also. Area of ISMB 400 plus area of plates. What is the area of ISMB 400? It is 7846. This value is obtained from the steel tables book. So 78, just a minute. Yeah, 7846. So it is 7846 plus area of plates. What is the area of plates? It is width into depth. Okay. What is the width of the plate? It is 300 mm and depth of the plate is 20. So how many plates we have? 2 plates. So I'm multiplying with 2. So if you solve for this one, you will be getting as 19846 mm square, which is the area of built up section. Okay. Now we have to find out the R minimum value, which is under root I by A. So therefore, R minimum equals to root I by A. Here there is a small correction. So this IYY of plates is not 96.22. So please make a correction of this. Let's keep the same value like that one. So 20 into 300 cube by 12 into 2. So here also it is not 96 value. It is 20 into 300 cube by 12 into 2. So if you solve for this one, then I of a built up section will be 96. The final answer was 96. 96.22 into 10 power 6 mm power 4. Please make sure of this correction. Okay, so the final answer of moment of inertia of built up section is 96.22. So here also, therefore, R equals to under root 96.22 into 10 power 6 upon the total area of the built up section. What is the total area of the built up section? It is 19846 mm square. So if you solve for this one, the R minimum value will be 69.62 mm. So this is the final R minimum value, right? So R minimum equals to root I by A. So this is how you should find out the R minimum value for built up sections. Okay. So this is the entire process of finding. Now the next step which we are going to find out is you can make the next heading as buckling class. So you have to define the section belongs to which buckling class, right? So if you remember from table 10 of IS 800 2007, from table 10 of IS 800 2007, built up sections belongs to buckling class We have to find out which buckling class it belongs to. We know we have 4 buckling classes: A, B, C, and D. These are the 4 buckling classes. Let's find out the built-up section belongs to which of these buckling classes. So here you can see this is the table 10 of IS 800 2007. So which talks about the buckling classes. So our section is not just the I section. Our section is not a rolled I section. Our section is a built up section. So that is provided at the extreme end. See, you can see built up member. For any type of built up member, the buckling class is C. Any represents any kind of built up section is buckling class C. So it can be along ZZ axis or YY axis. Along ZZ and YY axis, the buckling class is C. So you can see here. So the buckling class belongs to C. So from this, you are clear that the built-up sections belongs to buckling class C. So let's write the same thing here. So it belongs to buckling class C. Right? So now we have found out the buckling class also, which is along C, or buckling class C. Now let's find out the slenderness ratio. What is the slenderness ratio? You know, slenderness ratio is denoted with K lambda, which is the ratio of KL by R minimum. What is KL value? It is 4000. Okay, we found that. And R minimum is 69.62. You can check down. So 69.62. Remember, R minimum is the value which is calculated from this formula, that is under root I by A. So if you solve for this one, you will be getting the lambda value as 57.45. Right? Now, since it belongs to buckling class C, which table you are going to use? You have to use table 9C in order to find out the value of FCD. Right? Anyways, let's look at this. From table 9C of IS 800 2007, okay, for lambda equals to 57.45, you need to find out FCD value. You don't know FCD value, so let's just keep the question mark. So for lambda equals to 57.45, you should find out the FCD value. So let's look into the table 9C and find out what is the value. So here, as we were talking earlier, along y-axis you have the different values of KL by R, and along y-x-axis you have the different values of yield stress. So it is very clear that we are going to take the yield stress value as 250, right? This you don't need to confuse. For any kind of thing, it is the Fi value is fixed, which is 250. Now, what is the lambda value? That is slenderness ratio value which we have got. It is 57.45. So lambda is nothing but KL by R. Anything is same. KL by R or lambda, they both are same. Now here, you should find out the lambda value, that is FCD value, when lambda equals to 57.45. Do you have 57.45 here? No, you have the value for 50 and you also have the value for 60. So 57.45 lies in between 50 and 60. So for 50, the value of FCD is 183. Okay, and for 60, the value of FCD is 168. Remember, for 50, it is 183, and for 60, it is 168. So let's interpolate between these two values and find out the corresponding FCD value when lambda equals to 57.45. So now let's interpolate and find out the values. So you need to find out the value of lambda when it, FCD when lambda equals to 57.45. So FCD equals to, we don't know this one. So this lies in between 50 and 60. So when lambda equals to 60, the value of FCD is 168. And when lambda equals to 50, the value of FCD is 183. Okay, so if you interpolate, the value of FCD will be 171.82 newtons per mm square. So make sure of the correct interpolation. So this is how you can calculate the value of FCD when lambda equals to 57.45. Therefore, ultimately what we are going to find out, we are going to find out PD, which is AE into FCD. We know AE value, that is area of the built up section, 19846. And FCD value also we know, which is 171.82. So this will be equals to 341.0038 newtons. So this will be converted into kilonewtons. So you'll be getting the answer as 341.0 0.03 kilonewtons. Okay, but what we have to find out? We have to find out the load carrying capacity. That is what they have said. So I told in the beginning of the class, load carrying capacity is calculated as PD by 1/5. Therefore, load carrying capacity equals to PD by 1.5. So what is PD? So make sure here it is. The value of PD is 3410.03 upon 1.5. So this will be 2273.3 kilonewtons. So this is the safe load carrying capacity of the section. Safe load carrying capacity. So this is how you should find out the safe load carrying capacity of a built up section. So the only thing which you have to focus here is finding out R minimum value. Okay, rest everything is same. So this is the entire process of the finding of design of compression member as a column, in particularly a built up member. So it is an analysis type. So this problem, you can keep it as an assignment. You can solve it and understand whether you have clearly understood the process of design of compression member. So this problem also belongs to the design of compression member as a column, in particularly the built up column. So it is also an analysis type of problem. So it's not a design type of problem. So this is the last series of the design of compression members as a column section. Okay, now we also have the second part, which is the design of compression members as a struct members, right? This also we have seen, we are going to see. So the next classes or the next series will be focused on design of compression members as struts. Again, you have two struts. One is continuous and discontinuous. So you have two methods here. One is analysis type and the second one is design type. Okay, so in the next classes, we'll talk about the analysis type, and the forthcoming class will be talking about the design type of struct members. Thank you.